Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters, and today we're taking a look here at Mixed Blue and Charizard at 5 out of 5, 6-star EX, level 150, and with the EX roll unlocked, and I guess +2 grid energy. The final part of this video where I face the ultimate battle versus Thornton only is 4 out of 5, because I recorded that about a month ago, and I'm only just now getting around to it because of the break that I took and whatnot, so I wanted to go ahead and get this out. I've been wanting to make the Mixed Blue video for a while, because I never did one for Mixed Red. I still do want to make one for Mixed Red, but a lot of his stuff's already been covered. Granted, so is Mixed Blue, but whatever. He's at least newer, but whatever. Anyway, point is, we're going to do the showcase with the EX roll unlocked. So Mixed Blue's actually got very respectable stats after the EX roll unlock. I'd say that's probably the biggest aspect to actually give him the EX roll is because of the stat boosts. It is pretty much what enabled me to actually beat Thornton with the setup that I had. Which you can go ahead and skip and watch that at the end of the video if you want to. It doesn't really matter. But the plus 40 stats in both offenses is really helpful. 454 special attack and attack is very respectful alongside level 150, right? So it's a massive help to his offenses. I'd say that's definitely something that is worth investing in if you do really like this character and want to make a lot of usage of his abilities. The stat buffs help a lot. Not really the AoE strike, because his buddy move, of course, is AoE with the Neo Blast Burn, but whatever. Anyway, so if we're going to take, I guess, a little quick overview of his abilities, he's got his signature buddy move, Neo Blast Burn, which is a 2-gauge move, activates only when in Sun, similar to Red's buddy move, right? And Red's entire gimmick as well, except his is grassy terrain instead of Sun. But Blue is able to debuff enemy defense and special defense by 1, and of course the damage is not split between multiple enemies, which is amazing. So instead of where Red's able to debuff special defense, twice, right? Blue focuses on mixed debuffing for mixed offensive attackers, because he also does use Flare Blitz, which is good, right? He does have the mixed offensive options. Is it better than Red's gimmick with his defensive utility alongside his special defense oriented offense? You could make the argument that it isn't, but you could also probably make the argument that it is. It just depends how you really want to play the game and what really you prioritize, because Blue again focuses more on offenses and facing all multiple types of defensive enemies, I guess, whereas Red focuses more on the defensive side of things while catering more towards special damage. But whatever. Blue's also got his trainer move here, which reduces sync countdown, raises attack by 4, and applies super effective dex to an ally. Generally, you'll probably use it on him, but you can also use it on someone like Signusu Red if you want to maybe go for a big Flare Blitz nuke or something like that, or any other physical attacking partner that you may put him up with. Which there are quite a few with like Neo Champion Leaf and Signusu Hilda and whatnot. So there are quite a few good partners that can work with Blue, despite Blue being a, I guess, special attacker with his main move. Because again, he also does debuff defense, so he does have that mixed setting. And he does have the same stuff as Red, where he's got the guaranteed crits on all of his attacks. He does have, instead of +4 special attack and attack on entry, he does also have +4 special attack and speed, because again, his his attack buffing is locked really to his trainer move. So that's fine. And then he's got recoil removal 9 for Flare Blitz. Pretty much. And the grid, I wouldn't say is anything too crazy to note. I mean, it's all got good stuff, but a lot of it's kind of out of the way, and it's really weird. I'm pretty sure this entire time I used this grid. This is really the grid that I built. This uses the +2 energy. This gives him his full nuke, which has Brain Power alongside Solar Flare 5. 150% nuking multipliers is definitely respectful enough for his offensive stats. He's got Max Countdown 2 for the max move, Sunscreen 2 for some damage reduction, as well as Charging Sun 3 for a 30% DPS multiplier, though he does have other nodes that you may want to run depending on how you're trying to use him, such as Mind Games 9 for faster special defense debuff, so he can keep up with Mixed Red's tempo, I guess, one with the Sun for preventing from flinch, trap, confusion, and whatnot, and some other things like Team Max Smarts and Sync Move, Physical Boost, and Special Boost up 2, which can be good for some very big finishing nukes, right, for his Blast Burn and Flare Blitz. And then Max Double Down if you want to go for a high-powered fire max move, whatever. Point is, Blue's pretty good at looking as a fire attacker. He is a, paid-only unit, which is not great, but whatever. Let's go ahead. I got 4 battles lined up, and let's just see what Mixed Blue is capable of doing with his complete full investment, besides +10 energy, but really I don't think that helped that much anyway. Alright, I figured one of the things to showcase about Blue here, this is the only stadium battle, by the way. Technically, well, technically not, whatever. But point being, one of the things to showcase about Blue is, I guess, his synergy alongside New Year's Wallace, because they are pretty comparable in terms of kits. The only real difference in them is that Wallace's main DPS option is an AoE move with split damage, while Blue's is not. But of course, Wallace has special moves next to compensate, whereas Blue has his defensive debuffs and his mixed setting, right? So I just figured, you know what, instead of comparing them, let's just run them together. That's what would be fun. Anyway, doesn't matter. There is a few other differences as well, because again, Blue is also probably more utility focused, whereas Wallace sets the circle, right? But still, I'd say that there's still quite a bit more utility behind Blue himself, but whatever, not really the point, I guess. So go ahead and go for the nuke here. This would have definitely been a little bit better had these sides actually survived, because you'd actually get to see the AoE damage. I mean, either way, it's definitely a very respectful nuke, for sure. And this isn't even with like full empowerment from like Kanto buffs with like new champion leaf or chase buffs or anything like that. This is just a generic special setup, if anything like that, right? Just a dual strike setup with a special support. That's all there is to it. There wasn't really too much that I think was needing to be shown here. Special defense debuffs in order to empower Wallace is nice, and obviously empower the whole team. The max boot for the max countdown is also pretty helpful too. That's pretty much all that I think really needs to be said about this. He's good in the stadium. I mean, but you know, as are most things, right? I don't think anyone needs too much reassurance that the paid unit that you spend real money on is going to be good in the Champion Stadium. But hey, I mean, that's what this is, I guess. So he does have, again, the ability to empower allies of physical and special attacking origins, I guess. Like Signet Hilda is, again, a pretty big one for him, because she's able to go between physical and special damage depending on what you want to run her with. Of course, there's also Signet Suit Red, there's Neo Champion Leaf. They've got, you know, physical and special aspects of each of them, and they can work pretty well with Blue from that same aspect, so that is pretty nice. But yeah, whatever. This is the only stadium battle I got, other than the next one, which is technically a stadium battle. Let's go ahead and go over to that. Alright, got ourselves a little bit of sync shenanigans here in the battle rally. Did not intend for this stage to be Fire Week. That was completely luck-based, but frankly I don't think it mattered too much. It just made it a shorter battle. Got some sync shenanigans though, because Blue does have max countdown, which is good for the sync countdown. He's also got the trainer move here, which gives him super effective next alongside the -1 sync countdown. Combine that with Red's propulsion and Nate's what do you call it? The Dark Black Outrage sync countdown, right? And you've got yourself quite a lot to work with, to say the least, so that's definitely good. Anyway, we can go ahead and go for the nuke here. Red doesn't really do anything besides sync countdown here. That's pretty much it. That's the only reason I brought him. Also because he met the boost, because this was a field strike boost. And obviously we did some good damage, right? My booster here was Kalos and Dragon, so we only do have the Dragon boost activated, which I only have one of, and I also had a crit power, but frankly, I don't think I should have bought the crit power, because I think it would have been better to look at Blue with at a higher area difficulty with less power-ups, but I mean, hey, he did good. I just wish it was an off-type stage. Just the fact that it happened to be Fire Week Blue, no less, was complete luck? Bad luck? I don't know what you want to call it, but I mean, either way. Mixed Blue is going to provide some pretty good utility in the battle rally because of his I guess, mixed setting, right? He's able to hit offenses on the special and physical side. He's able to apply stun as well, some sync countdown and whatnot. So he's going to be a pretty good character to invest for that field strike boost, because at the very least he's not, you know, completely offense oriented. Well, okay, he's completely offense oriented, but he's also not like just damage. There are some other things you can work with. Definitely not to the same degree as Mixed Red though, for sure. Alright, went ahead, cooked up a legendary arena duo. Why not? Went ahead against Terrakion. I can't speak. Anyway, I went ahead and fought Terrakion because Blue does meet the gimmick of setting weather, which is what Terrakion really wants. Went ahead and did a duo with Misty here because of her evasion buffing, haste, stat resets, sync countdown shenanigans, and overall decent defensive prowess despite being a tech character. Pretty much it. I mean, Blue definitely does do enough damage, and he definitely builds up his damage fast enough, I would say. Like, that's one of the things that you kind of do want to look at, is like how well can a character start, you know, doing damage or start doing things that are going to be quickly shutting down whatever enemy you're facing, I guess. And Blue does it extremely quickly, right? It depends really how you set up your partners and whatnot, and really how you want to, I guess, make Blue work. But his offensive prowess starts off pretty strong, just like out the gate for the most part. You're able to get a lot out of him with that sync nuke. Like, that sync nuke was pretty good, despite, you know, being the first nuke on the team. No support EX, nothing like that, right? So that's definitely good. And obviously his Neo Blast Burn damage right now is doing a lot of damage, as it should be. And Misty's, of course, helping out a ton by, you know, keeping the stats split with Terrakion here, so we don't have to worry too much about his hard-hitting stone edges, earthquakes, crit attacks, or anything like that. I did build blue, or give blue vigilance for the lucky skill. That's pretty much the only change that I made here. I generally do run him with Weathered Warrior, but this time I opted to run him with vigilance so that we don't have to worry about the crits, swifts, and earthquakes from Terrakion that much, and that was definitely necessary. Again, blue's definitely hitting really, really hard here. If we would have managed to quad Q that earthquake, this would have been an even cleaner win, especially because it got a natural crit. So in this setup specifically, if you would ever want to try and run it for whatever reason, then you obviously could and get definitely some better luck. No doubt about that. And also probably should have queued up the max move sooner here instead of letting Terrakion get off its next single move. So again, there was a lot of room for improvement in this run, but I mean, it got the win, so that's all I really care about. Just be sure to eyeball this if you ever want to potentially maybe use it for a gauntlet duo or whatever, though I doubt that. I just went ahead and did it because why not? It's a gauntlet duo, you're not using an overpowered support. May as well showcase Blue's ability to, I guess, start really ramping up his damage in these legendary arenas. That's pretty much all I did it for. And I guess his defensive ability too, because the sunscreen was crucial. Like, no doubt about that, the sunscreen was crucial for actually surviving for this long. Otherwise, we would have been gone. And of course, level 150 as well. But again, there were some room for improvements in this run specifically. Queuing that Blast Burn was pretty much required. Right, if you make your Qs a little bit better and whatnot, you're going to get a far cleaner win than what I did. And also, the max move probably sooner, but whatever. There we go. There was a duo against Terrakion. Again, I didn't really change the grid for that run either, simply because nothing that blue really offered in the grid would have really provided too much of a boost there that would have been better than what we were able to provide. I think maxing blue's nuke for, like, not bar skips, but near bar skips is good enough. And, just the special moves next boost he gains, I just don't see much of a necessity in it, honestly. So whatever. Let's move on to the final battle, which is the ultimate battle versus Thornton, alongside Adamant and Aura Cynthia. I don't think anyone's ever done that clear before, but I'm also not going to upload it to the doc yet. And no one had done it by time that I did it a month ago. Someone's probably done it now, but whatever. Let's go ahead and hop over there and finish up the showcase for Mixed Blue. And to finish off here, I have no idea how laggy this battle is going to be because this was recorded a month ago. Anyway, this is going to be Ultimate Battle versus Thornton. So, Blue's, obviously the big gimmick of Thornton is he swaps his defensive weakness, defensive typing, whatever you want to call it, between bars, right? Not between bars, but between HP thresholds, and Blue's mixed offenses are obviously going to be really, really good at that. Obviously, the gimmick was with Neo Champion Leaf and whatnot, and, maybe Signature Red, if you want to run Stampfest 9, or, Summer Hilda. Signature Hilda, right? Those type of characters are obviously the big daddies and big mommies specifically of what you would want to do for this event, right? But obviously, Mixed Blue does also fit that same gimmick, just more of like a junior version. Weenie Hut Junior's version of Signature Hilda, right? So, whatever. I haven't even studied this run, it's been forever. By the way, his mixed debuffing is extremely helpful for once we actually get to the point of the switch in defenses, so that Adamant can actually take over doing damage with his main nuke, right? Because obviously the big thing to get through here is the 60% amount of health that it takes for us to actually, what is it? Is it 40% health or 60% health? I actually don't remember. Anyway, for getting through Thornton here to where Adamant can start being the one to do damage. Obviously, Adamant being able to set Sun as effectively as he does is what is enabling Blue to maintain his buddy move and obviously have the extension as good as well. And Cynthia obviously keeps up team health and all that stuff. And there are, of course, better supports, 100%. Champion Blue would be stupidly good for this event. Duh. As fucking always. Champion Rosa would be good, but at this point in time I didn't have her invested. So I went with Aura Cynthia, who was probably my best defensive option that could still maintain a very good amount of offensive prowess as well. So that was nice. Blue's also getting boosted by Adamant's Master Passive and of course Cynthia's as well, but only on his physical side, right, with his Flare Blitz, other than Cynthia's Black Bear, who's of course applying special buffs as well. But the main passive, Adamant's, was it Pride, Sinnoh Pride I think, is applying only to Blue's Flare Blitz because of course it doesn't apply to special attacks, right? We were lucky to get the turn denial, by the way, on the Steelix, which was pretty much crucial for this run. one of the big things I do like about this specific run is that there's very little RNG actually involved. Just I think a few potions on Cynthia and maybe like a quad Q or something. I don't quite remember. But either way, point is that you don't really have to worry about, RNG, right? You don't have to worry about damage thresholds or potential Qs from the enemy or whatever. You really just got to worry about, managing your moves for the most part, which is great. So I think it's at this point that I think Thornton swapped his HP, right? Yeah, he swapped he swapped his defenses. So now we can have the point where Adaman's actually able to take over in terms of nuking, so that we don't have to worry too much about dealing with the rest of Thornton's gimmicks. Because Adaman's still got a very strong nuke despite being off type, right? Which is amazing, of course. This is still a pretty tight win, I guess, but it really didn't matter that much. Synthesis, Adamant being able to manage his own HP with Synthesis is extremely helpful for this, because it means that you just need less potions with Cynthia, and you can focus on potioning her and Blue, so that you maintain your fucking HP, right? You stay alive. You do have to worry quite a bit about the double edges and whatnot from Thornton. Sadly, Cynthia does not have the best ability to survive those moves. Would have been better to go for Leaf Blade here on Adaman, by the way. That Synthesis was not necessary because he did have the damage guard. He was going to survive anyway. It was not really that important. Didn't really matter. But of course, Blue and Adaman are able to finish off Thornton here. And there we go. So new champion Blue list, new champion Leaf, Signitude Hilda, whatever. Any of those characters that I don't have is what this run's helpful for. Yay, empowering Adaman. Since this battle, I've actually 5 out of 5'd my Adaman, and I got the 5 out of 5 copy of Mixed Blue, because do remember, this was before I did that, and this was the only reason I actually ever gave Mixed Blue the Special Strike EX roll, and I remember that when he released, I was like, maybe if I give him the X roll and I give him the offensive buffs, he'll be able to actually beat Thornton for me. And well, it turns out, yeah, he actually did. So this, I guess, is probably, I don't know if it's the biggest feat that Mixed Blue can actually accomplish, but being able to beat Thornton is a pretty big achievement, I guess. So there we go. The mixed offensive ability from Blue is very nice, and overall he's a very, very strong unit, very, very good. I don't know if he's worth paid gems only, but I mean, if you are going to go for the mixed scout, then getting this guy is definitely not bad, right? It's a very good consolation prize at the very least. So that's my thoughts on Mixed Blue and whatnot, just in all these different setups. Let me know what you think about him down in the comments below. Let me know what places you've used him, where he's excelled, and what your overall thoughts. I'll see you all later.